in 경기장 도시형.
All right, so here we are, guys. It's game number 2 between ZeNEX and StarTale. In the top left-hand corner of Tal'Darim Ultra, we have a red Protoss player from Team ZeNEX. That is ZeNEXplosion. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner from Team StarTale, actually winning a very quick game against ZeNEXtreme in game number 1. That is Virus.
That's right. He must be closer to like a plague, though, the way he took out his last opponent so quickly. That is a fast-acting disease, man. Dr. House wouldn't have a chance. He wouldn't be able to, like, sit against a wall with his cane next to him, twirling it, thinking about the disease, because it just kills in 5 seconds, apparently.
The best
More like 5 minutes, I guess.
The best post, as per Reddit, though, was watching general practitioners watch House and rage at it. So, I highly recommend it. All right. So, here we go, guys. Cross positions on Tal'Darim Ultra again. Still a mention unless we see proxy double racks in the middle of the map. This game will go a wee bit longer, or at least so we can hope.
True. So, Tal'Darim Ultra, big map. You know what you're going to do. A lot of people like to do macro openings on this map just because you do have a little bit more time, obviously, because of the distance. The early pushes aren't quite as effective because you have more chances to scout it. You have more chances to prepare for it. But every once in a while you see people get a little bit cheesy on this map. Doesn't look like anyone is, though, this time around.
Nope.
Virus getting his barracks and his gas at the normal time. And Gateway and gas for the normal time for his ZeneXplosion.
Yeah, but he is bypassing that 1-rack's gasless FE, Virus is, so pretty easy to pull off on this map because of the small choke point at the front of the natural, but looks like he's got to do something, keep himself a little bit safer at the beginning of the game.
A lot of players like to get a Reaper on this map, so it might be a Reaper expand. I mean, there's a lot of room where you can jump in and scout their base and get him away without losing him, so we might see something like that. Otherwise, people still do like to do Marauder expands kind of defensively on this. I mean, you can still walk across the map and try to pressure a little bit. You just need to be extra careful when you do it, because if your opponent has, you know, a couple stalkers out and you don't have enough DPS to kill them, then suddenly you might as well just let your Marauders die because there's no way they can run home away from that. So you still see those types of things. Okay, and we actually have 2 barracks going down. There's a reactor first this time, though. Oh, but the probe gets in and sees it. Whoops. So, reactor first this time. So, he's actually going to just do a 2 barracks expand, but it's going to be a much safer one. He's going to have a lot more units sooner, and he's actually going to be able to make a little push with this, too, more than a little poke. You can either push with your first Marauder or your second one. A lot of people prefer to do it with their second one.
Yeah, in contrast to the last game when he decided to put up those Marauders so much earlier on, and he was able to make a push at the very beginning of the game. This time, of course, he's investing that longer to build reactor, but he's double pumping out Marines for quite a while now.
This is a safer way to do it. This is actually the preferred way to do it. You'll see most players do it this way.
Whoa, but that is totally different.
All
That's a 3 racks, actually. 2 racks, yes, easy to expand beyond that. 3 racks, on the other hand, that's going to hit a little bit later with a couple extra additional upgrades and a lot of units, but it's much harder to expand right away.
Now, what he's going to try to exploit here is the fact that there's no ramp on this map. He's got a nice big wide one to walk up if he needs to walk up the ramp. Otherwise, obviously, going from the natural to the main is flat ground. So, if you decide to go 3 racks, go for a quicker stim timing. Yep, there's stim starting just now. You can potentially do a lot of damage. You still need to watch out a little bit for force fields. And we actually saw Nada do this in the GSL just a couple days ago. And he later expanded off of it, too. Obviously, you're hurting your economy because you're going to get a much later command center if you do eventually expand.
Right.
But you can potentially do a lot of damage here. And, yeah, he's just going to move in. And that Stalker took some damage.
ZeNEXplosion takes a little bit of damage, but gets away pretty quickly. He knows that his opponent is going to make a little bit of a biopoke here. And the way he covered up at the front there with as many units as he has in the unit composition, I would imagine that ZeNEXplosion thinks a little something is up right now.
The cool thing, though, is that the units at the front don't look any different than you would see if it was just that 2 barracks expand that we were talking about earlier. So ZeNEXplosion probably isn't expecting this to be a 3 barracks push.
Right.
It's a little bit weird. I mean, if you constantly produce off 3 barracks like this, you will spend all your money. You won't be able to expand. So you need to kind of take a break from production at some point to get that command center up, which is why it's kind of all-in-ish. But we'll have to see how Virus decides to play it out. He could just decide to pressure and then save some money and expand. but he could just be all in with this, too. I mean, we'll have to see.
We'll find out. He is reinforcing with a ton of units right now.
Too bad Concussive Shells wasn't done right there.
Right. Yeah, it looks like it's still, what, about 15 seconds away, as a matter of fact. That's a lot of units, though, and an Immortal coming out now for ZeNEXplosion. He's starting to push these units back, catches a couple of units, kills a Marauder and 2 Marines. This Marine thinks his lucky stars that he's even still alive right now.
No kidding.
Stim not finished yet. It looks like ZeNEXplosion is going to go ahead and expand out of this.
Yeah, the 1-gate expand into a total of 3 gateways that ZeNEXplosion did is definitely the safest thing you can do. Oh, he's only got 2 gateways.
Yeah.
Okay, so either way, I mean, any sort of expand like that where you get the Robo early and you have those early Immortals makes it very difficult for Taran to do damage with this type of thing. Once Stim is done, that may be a different story depending on the Immortal positioning, but I'd say ZeNEXplosion is in a really good spot to handle this.
Yeah, there's a lot of units coming out for Virus, though, so he's still going to be in a little bit of danger, but I agree with you. I think he has the upper hand now, especially the way he's reinforcing with additional Immortals. Once that second Immortal is there, this army is incredibly strong. A couple of good force fields splitting that army in half. And all those units in the back are just not firing right now. Half of Virus's army has gone down. He is now way behind on his expansion and back in units as well. Things looking pretty bleak for him at the moment.
Yeah, you can really see why people don't do this a whole lot, especially on maps like this. The thing that really hurt this timing was the Stim change. When it got 30 seconds longer, that really made it much more difficult to pull off. This used to hit with Stim at like 7 minutes, and it was really strong. But yeah, after they nerfed Stim, it comes a lot later, obviously.
Right.
And he is building a command center, just kind of being active around the map right now. But ZeNEXplosion shouldn't really take any damage from this if he keeps putting down his force fields correctly.
Nope, think he's going to be okay. Already an Immortal taking aim at a couple of the bio units there, and Virus backs up at the moment. That is a very powerful army from ZeNEXplosion at this stage in the game. Now, let's see what Virus has coming up at the moment. An engineering base making its way down. There's our starport just after that factory finished up as well, so we'll be moving into a good set of upgrades and have some medevacs out there as well. But I've got to say, ZeNEXplosion has been playing this very well so far, and he is going to be on, looks like 5-gate Robo now in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to just push with a lot of Immortals. I was kind of waiting to see if he was going to put up that Robo Bay or get some forges and get some upgrades going for a longer game, but looks like he just wants to kind of take advantage of the fact that his opponent won't really have the best army at this point in time.
Right. And
he should hit before the medevacs are out, so he might be able to get in here and cause some pain to StarTale Virus.
Yes, an explosion of pain, no less. And we have 3 Stalkers and a Zealot on the right-hand side, so he will be able, with another round of Warpins here in just a second, do a nice little pincer maneuver and separate those units off. And looks like he may do just that in a second.
Distracting with the units from the back. There we go.
Very smart. Moves up with the units through the front as well. One Marauder has gone down basically for free, capturing so many units. A couple of Zealots may die, but the vast majority of the damage being done to Virus there. A beautiful split with those force fields, and now this base is under attack.
Yeah, he's going to have to lift that command center, try to run away somehow, or he's going to lose it. Yep, there he goes. But it's just so easy to force field units off with this that ZeNEXplosion, I mean, there's just no way that Virus is going to win. This is just a perfect illustration of why people don't go for that 3 racks anymore, because if you don't do damage with it, everything else you do is going to be so far behind that your opponent's just going to literally waltz right into your base like this and finish you off. It was kind of cute that he tried it. I mean, like I said, we saw Nada try this too. I mean, it's one of those builds that if you surprise your opponent with, you can get a quick win, but obviously, ZeNEXplosion just more than ready for this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He is just obliterating his opponent right now. Now up double the supply of his opponent, already at the 12-minute mark, and it looks like we may be in store for our second quick game here. Bunch of units stimming out. The rest of the SUVs are pulled. Zealots went through quite a few of those at the front, but there's so much just left over. That explosion forces the GG, and we are all tied up now between StarTale and ZeNEX.
Yep, that's right. StarTale Virus. I'm surprised he tried to do this on this map. I mean, it was just really a matter of Virus going, hey, you know what? I bet if I do this, he's not going to expect it.